Hi, my name is Jimwell G Poblete from 10 Argon. As we take a step further from our comfort zone and closer to our goals, we tend to sometimes question our own worth and capabilities when we're surrounded by a new set of people and standards. Despite knowing that you have accumulated enough confidence and wisdom from your past experiences to keep up. I have a question. Have you ever felt this presence that you somehow familiarize yourself with because you always encounter it at crucial times, like, for example, when you're in a class and your teacher asked a question? Your mind is fizzing with beautiful ideas, but you ended up being silenced by this mind boggling presence. Well, I have this experience to share with you all. There was this time I was attending my first book of the month discussion. My hair was properly combed, and I have written down my answers for the questions that they will ask later on. Coming up with those answers was not easy. It took a lot of my time and effort, and it basically left me without a single brain cell. As I entered the meeting, I heard that we need to introduce ourselves first. Because of that, my heart immediately began to pound furiously. My turn finally came. As I was saying my name, heat flashed through my ears, and that heat eventually devoured my whole face. After that, they asked their questions that is heavily dependent on our own opinions. So basically, there is no wrong answers. First question. My hand was on the mouse. I was gathering up courage to click the unmute button. And at the same time, I was trying to toss the thought of being judged as I share my ideas. Second question. I think my answer for this one is the most beautiful. I tried my best to use up all of the courage that I have accumulated during the first question, but something was pulling my fingers from clicking that unmute button. Something stronger was taking control. The five questions passed. The fruitful discussion ended without any of my ideas being shared. Regardless of my ideas not being shared, it brought a short term of joy and calmness because not speaking up kind of saved me from possible failures and shame. And it seems like my ideas was not needed. After that, I immediately felt uneasy and my eyes burst out tears. I was full of regret at that time. It may just be a simple meeting online for some of you, but for me, it was very special because I could have achieved many of my first times there that never in my wildest dreams I would do. I was super mad at myself for not clicking that unmute button. But looking back at my experience, there is one thing that I have achieved after that meeting. It was the knowledge on how scary it is to be devoured by your own insecurities. Because of dealing with this throughout my life, I have become familiar with a unhealthy habit. I swept aside my fear of facing regrets and continuously accommodate those regrets left by my insecurities. But this time, I don't want to be a part of the roughly 85% of people worldwide with low self-esteem. I fought back and I decided to rebuild my confidence and find my worth. I started to ask questions to people that I look up to, and there I learned that they have undergo a experience that I can relate to mine, which brought me a lot of comfort. I took my time to reflect, and there I have learned to embrace my fear of facing regrets. I have learned that we can use our fear of facing regrets left by our insecurities to have courage to avoid them by freely expressing ourselves at the right time and where people can hear us. I realized that As I was writing this speech, I was not thinking of what other people may think about the ideas that I will share. Thanks to the courage that I have achieved after that experience, I can now unconsciously neglect and tear down the image that my insecurity radiates. An image consisting of people laughing at you and judging you. Also, seeing our community slowly change helped me overcome the roots of my insecurities. People are now starting to get more accepting and understanding. I want to take this time to ask all of you guys to open your eyes and also see that change. For me, what I did was a big step on overcoming my insecurities that I've been dealing with for a long time now. As long as your ideas are pure and will spread positivity and love, there is nothing to be afraid of. Take your time and you will realize that you have made your step on overcoming yours.